everybody, I'm here to show you how to make your spring wreath. So a fun little project at home. We're selling the kits online for them. So you can go to the shop and order your kit and have contract-free delivery and have fun creating at home. So we're gonna get started. I have all the material here that comes in your kit. It's everything that you need other than your tools. You'll need those at home. So to start with, we're going to add the pussy willows to the wreath. I'm going to cut the pussy willows off at the different breaks. You can use pruning shears or a knife. And we have the little blind wire that is going to come with it. Now your pussy willows will be different for each one that comes, so you're going to have to use the shape that they come in and kind of use your own design style. I'm going to make little snips of the blind wire for twisting on the pussy willows and all the different flowers that we have. So the first thing I'm going to do is take, and basically it's like a twist tie that you're going to do, and then I'm going to take the next side and twist this guy on here. And these little pussy willows, I want them facing the other way because I'm going to do the flowers just to one side of the hoop because I really want to see the gold hoop on the other side. So I'm going to take and twist these little guys on here. And now these guys down there to get the curved shape that I want from the pussy willows. I'm going to leave this little guy out because I want some of them poking out. I don't want them to all feel tight to the wreath. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to take my wire cutters, not scissors because you don't want to wreck your scissors, and snip the wires and then just bend them down. So there is our pussy willows that we have to start. The next thing I'm going to do is add in the greens. So you're going to take your lamb's ear and cut the two pieces apart. And I always like to take and bend the stem just a little bit. I think it looks more realistic when it has some kind of kinks and curves in the stem compared to just being perfectly straight. Now I'm going to basically kind of hold them and see where I think they look best with the arrangement. And again, I want them kind of up and down because when they're finished, I'm going to put the beautiful peony right in the center. So again, we're going to take and bind the lamb's ear to your gold ring. Let's cut a few more of the little pieces. Being that it's so snowy outside, I feel like I just need a little bit of spring on my front door or in my house, and this is the perfect way for us to encourage spring to come. So twist tying again, and you don't want to just put it in one spot. You always want to twist tie it in two spots to make sure that it's securely on there. And I want to see the pussy willows here, so I'm taking the greens and just raising them up a little bit and twist tying on. And make sure you're lifting the leaves. I don't want you to tie and squish them down. Take and actually lift the leaves up, get your little wire in between the leaves, and then twist tie it on. Now as you go, remember to take your pruning shears, stick the wires, and bend them down because you want your mechanics to look nice and clean as you're making your wreath. Just as a better finished product. Okay, there is step 2. Now, step 3, we're going to take the little eucalyptus bunch that comes with it. And you can either put the whole eucalyptus bunch together or you can take it apart. I'm going to take mine apart, so I'm actually just going to take and snip this little guy off of there. And I want this stem also to be slightly shorter, so I'm going to snip that one part off of there too. So So I'm wanting to tuck one piece up this way and one piece the other way. Now you see when I'm doing my arrangements, I keep getting closer and closer together in the center. So when I put the final flower, it's gonna hide that binding part in the section, in the center. So here, we are gonna put a few more of our little ties, and it is helpful if you get these ready all to start if you want, but you don't want them too long. Basically 2 to 3 inches, little pieces. Now I'm going to take our eucalyptus, bind this, taking and twisting in the back. And again, you still want it on 2 spots to be tied on. So this little nub sticking out, I'm going to take, push that down, and then tie that section right there. All right, the other piece of eucalyptus, tuck it right through the other greens, and you can take a leaf or two and kind of weave them throughout. Tie right there in the center, and see how they're quite close together now? Oh, sorry, my fridge is making ice. I apologize for the noise. I am working from home and my kids are videoing, so thank you very much to my girls. Okay, again, tying. Bend your wire down. Eucalyptus, you can bend it if you need a little bit. But there is step 3. I think I'm going to have the pussy lemons poking out the top here. So that's where we're at. Now, the next step would be to take our pink accent flower. Now, I don't want them just on one side, so I'm actually going to take and snip the pink accent flower in half to 2 pieces. I am going to tuck the one up this side and take and twist that guy on. Make a few more of my little ties. So this is a fun little project to do at home. You can do it with your kids as well, get them to help you out, or if you just need a little bit of time for yourself in the evening, have a glass of wine, make a beautiful wreath. I'm going to take the little other pink piece and tuck it in where I kind of think it's beautiful, weaved throughout the greens. Twisting the back, so you can see how the back is coming along quite nicely. Doesn't look too messy because I'm trimming it as we go. There's the next step. Next, we are going to add our peony right in the center there. So I'm going to snip the peony, and I think I also want the greens off the stem. I don't want to waste any of them. So first off, I'm going to tuck one peony green actually behind the wreath and the other one in front, and then I'm going to tie those guys on as well. And make sure you get your bind wire nice and tight when you're twisting it. Otherwise, your pieces are going to fall apart, especially if you're putting it outside in the wind and the elements. You want those ties nice and tight on there. Now, the peony stem isn't very long, about 3 inches on there. I'm going to take and kind of slide the peony between the greens that is already there. Now, the next step would be to just tilt it up so that it doesn't look flat, it's facing outwards. Take your bind wire, slide it in there, making sure you get your peony stem nice and tight. And we definitely want to make sure that we get that peony stem in 2 spots so that it doesn't just fall right out. Take another piece of bind wire, go between your greens, find where that stem is, and don't bind over the greens. Make sure you're weaving your bind wire between the greens. Make sure you pull it nice and tight so that main flower stays in place where you want it to. Trim. So now you see the back of my wreath? All the wires are trimmed and tucked up nice and neat into it. If your peony's facing down, just take and tilt it up a little bit. And there we go. There's our wreath so far. Now the next thing we're gonna do, you can either take the ribbon that comes with it and hang your wreath. You can tie a knot here and then hang it from the ribbon, which is really pretty off your door. Or if you have a wreath hanger, you can also add the ribbon on the side. So I'm gonna do the ribbon tied to the side here. So I've tucked it, I went around the wreath with the ribbon, lifted the peony up, tied it nice and tight in there, and I'm just gonna do like a shoelace bow. A nice 2-loop bow. Flatten out the edges of the ribbon. I'm just kind of moving the bow off to one side. For it. With the bow, it takes a little bit of playing to get it exactly where you want. You can play around with your loop sizes. Some people like a bigger, floppier looped bow. Some people like smaller loops. And there's our loop at the side. Now I do feel like the one tail is too long compared to the other. I'm gonna take and trim it. Always making sure that you are trimming your ribbon on an angle. Just looks better. Try and have some nice sharp scissors to get a clean cut on there. And there is our finished product.